Go ahead and put your music on there, Dan. Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups. And today we have a gem of a show here with guest host Jessica. You've done about 5 shows now, 4 shows, Jessica?
Something like that, yep.
Something like that. Doesn't even matter to her. She's got so much going on, right?
It's been about, I'm going to say 4.
4 shows, okay. It's been a slice, as your words go.
It's been a big old slice of pizza.
Yeah. Okay, so if you like this podcast, throw me a like. If you don't like it, it's fine. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. If you want to share your story, go to writemac.com. I could be possibly taking in some calls today if you want to call me through Skype and you have a good story. The calls aren't for shout outs or like, hey, can we just talk? It's more or less, do you have a breakup story you want to unpack and get to the bottom of and get some advice on? During the live streams, if I do offer that, like I said, it's not one of those things you're just going to call in. You're going to have to tell me what you're going through a little bit. But we'll get to that in a moment. We have a topic that I've talked about before. We kind of touched on it, I think, a couple of times in a live stream. I thought maybe we'd touch on it again as a topic, emotional cheating. And it's just one of those things that surprises me that people get really, there's even a term for it. What is emotional cheating to you, Jessica?
So I guess that term means when you're in a relationship and you see somebody else that you find attractive and you are finding that you are having feelings for them, right?
I mean, that's the interesting thing when there's a topic like emotional cheating. Someone will be like, oh, that's not emotional cheating. It's like whatever your interpretation is your interpretation.
It's like when you're in a relationship and you see someone else and you like that person. You don't act on it, but you feel it.
Yeah, the interesting thing is I've never even, 39 years old, I've never even heard of it before doing breakup coaching maybe the last couple of years. And someone that I have a lot of respect for and is a very intelligent individual, and he's in a new relationship, and he's like head over heels. He's in his late 30s. He's like, I've never met a woman like this. And he's also very into law of attraction. So,
yeah.
Law of attraction. He made a, what is it called? Like not a future board, but when you do like a board with pictures and different characteristics of what you want?
Like a storyboard?
No, not a storyboard. Have you heard of this before, Aleph?
Like a mindset, like as a graph?
No, it's someone will help me in a minute on the live stream, I think. But basically, like part of, there's different techniques with law of attraction and different things like this and materializing things. I think imagination counts. I think there's some truth to law of attraction. That's something to maybe get into another time. But he basically made a board of the type of woman he wanted with pictures.
Oh, he just took pictures from the internet?
I don't know if he took pictures. That's a good question. I don't know if they were from the internet. I'm thinking magazines. That shows how old I am because no one even does magazines.
Well, internet magazines.
Magazines were really cool when I was a kid.
Magazines are great.
I mean, so I don't know. Like in my head, I'm like thinking he took pictures. He made a board with pictures, whether they were from the internet or from magazines. I don't know. But he picked out the kind of woman that he wanted, which was blonde, he said, the kind of characteristics he wanted, and he put it on a board. And he's like, I got exactly the kind of woman I wanted. And I'm
Good
like,
for him.
Yeah. He's like, I've never been happier. And this is my life partner. He's going on and on. I'm like, wow, that's really great. And I'm like, you've been together because he was actually helping me with something separate. And so listening to him, he's just head over heels. He's honeymoon phase. Everything's, rose petals and wine glasses. It's just outstanding. It's great. It's wonderful. And in my head, I'm thinking like, until it isn't, that's not negativity, but it can't be perfect all the time. But he's saying no, it can be. Mm-hmm. And I thought to myself, okay. And then he brought up, even if I was to emotionally cheat on her, I would tell her immediately. And I was like, what?
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I was like,
so what was that for him?
He was just saying that he's so into this woman and they have such a great relationship and they have such great communication that if he felt like he was emotionally cheating on her, he would instantly tell her. And I was kind of like, what?
But like, what would emotionally cheating be to him? Like he saw another woman he thought was attractive.
Yeah, exactly. Or emotional cheating, from what I understand, it's not just thought, it's actions. So it's like if you work with someone and you're flirting with them. I mean, but here's the thing about that. What's flirting to you and what's flirting to me? I don't know. Everyone has a different,
Right.
you know what I mean, interpretation of that.
So I guess it's like really looking at your intentions, the intentions of your actions.
That's a good way to put it. I would say, yeah, it would be that, and the idea that I guess he feels guilty about it. But to me, as a human being, I've said this before, I don't think you can control your thoughts all the time. I think you can control your actions. And so if you have a thought about someone for a moment and you're like, ooh, I'd like to sleep with her or something like that, that's completely human.
Sure.
So I definitely wouldn't go to my girlfriend. I definitely wouldn't want to go to my girlfriend and say, hey, hun, sit down, let's talk. There's a woman I work with, and I had unpure thoughts about her. And I actually thought about, doing this and this and this with her. I just wanted to tell you to come clean. It's like, would you want to know that, Jessica?
No. I don't want to know.
What would you, this is a good question. What would you do if your boyfriend or future husband or what have you came and told you that? Would you say,
I can't even imagine that scenario happening. Like, I think I would, gosh, it's kind of hard to say. I imagine that I would probably just say, listen, those are your thoughts. You can keep them to yourself. If you act on it, then we can have a conversation. But until, you can look at any woman that walks down the street, and if you think she's hot, and or as a colleague, you think she's hot. I mean, I don't know. Until you've actually really cheated, then I think I don't need to know about it.
Because I know I've witnessed with past girlfriends, I can tell when a girlfriend finds another guy attractive. I can tell.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm like, oh shit, can't believe you were checking him out. It's like usually it's probably a good looking guy to most people, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, this is not, but to me, I guess that's where trust comes in.
Yeah.
And your boundaries.
Yeah.
But I think you're just creating a super shitstorm if you go to, and he said, like, he's like, I would instantly tell her, and I was blown away, because like I said, intelligent guy. I don't say that about many people. I don't throw that word around. Very well read. And when he said that, I was just like, really? And it just shows me, and also you could tell when we talked further and further that he had some really bad relationships in the past. So where he felt like he had been burned, where there weren't good relationships. I think he even said one of his ex-girlfriends was a drug dealer, which was really shocking by this guy's character.
Yeah.
It just seemed that it wasn't in his character to be that kind of a person. And so I think the fact that he was so head over heels in such a great relationship that he somehow thought, like, I want to do everything right. And I'm like, I don't know if that's the right move, though, because you're going to have some impure thoughts if you're a man that's attracted to females. Whatever you're attracted to, you're going to have moments, right? I mean, did you ever feel like, as a kid, I know my father would always get caught staring at some waitress or a woman walking down the street that was in tight clothing. My dad would just, like, no shame. But he wouldn't, like, whistle or do anything. He would just be caught in one of those open mouth dead stares. It's like, oh, what? Yeah. Oh, huh? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then when I got older, he'd be like, check this out, like he'd share it more with you. But he wouldn't act on it. Like, I never felt like it was, like a line crossing or something like that. Did your dad ever do that?
I didn't notice it when I was younger, but like as I've gotten older, I've noticed it. Yeah. But I think that can run both ways for like my mom and my dad.
Your mom can find it.
Like if my mom sees someone that's handsome, if I'm there, she'll say something.
Oh, he's handsome. Something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
That's funny. I think that that's right. That's what I mean. What about you, Aleph? Would you tell your future, because you're single right now, if you had a girlfriend in the future and you were working somewhere and you came across a very attractive woman, would you go to your girlfriend and say, hey, I just want to let you know I had some thoughts about another woman?
Definitely not.
Do you think it would help or hurt your relationship?
She will be mad at me, of course.
Yeah, I think what Jessica said, I would be, if that was the case, I'd think maybe we're not a good couple because you're way too guilt ridden. I would take it as a guilt thing. That you're feeling guilty about something to me that's like very human. And so like if you feel that uncomfortable, it's almost like you're kind of scared to lose, and it's going to create bad situations. That to me would create, if you had those expectations of yourself. Sorry, I'm not going to tell you every time I saw a hot woman on the street and feel like, or interacted with someone, because I just think to myself, damn, that would be, that's just like too much information, I guess.
Yeah, it's like you don't need to know everything that goes on inside your partner's mind.
No.
Clear, transparent communication is so important, but it doesn't have to go as deep as, every time you see someone good looking that walks by and you're like, oh, if I could, I would. Or,
Yeah. That's interesting that you said the clear communication thing, because there was a woman that I dated a while back, and we were seeing each other for a little while, and she told me that I was too positive, and it felt like it was fake. And she's like, give me some more of your bad stuff. Like, tell me some things that are. I was like, I remember I went out and I was like, just had a rough week this week. It was just, I was a little stressed about a couple of things. Tell me what it is. Tell me what it is. I'm like, nah, it's not even worth talking about. No, you need to tell me those things. You always talk about positive things. Tell me the bad things. And I'm like, I'll tell you if I want to. You know what I mean? It's like that's like a red flag when someone that you're dating is like accusing you of being too positive. It's like they're like trying to rope you in, like, come down here where I'm negative.
Yeah.
It's more fun. Give me all your bad shit, and then we can have a little bad shit fire. And go through it. And I remember I was like, we're probably not going to go out anymore. This is definitive conversation that you're getting excited because I was stressed out during the week and had some problems. Now we're getting somewhere.
Let's fuel that fire.
Now I can know the real you. It's like I said that I got through it. I'm okay. And I think what it was like stuff that I didn't think was needed to be shared. It wasn't like I was trying to keep something in or not be vulnerable or any of this kind of crap. I was just like, I just had like kind of a rough week or this or that and this, that. Tell me about it.
She just wanted you to open up.
Yeah. Is that like a woman thing?
I think sometimes women feel like men don't open up enough, and it's like they want to like get deeper. They want to know what you're feeling, because a lot of times men don't emote so much.
Is that actually a good thing though? If a guy, like, isn't there a line where if a guy goes, "Oh, I had this rough week," and he's complaining and he's this or that, he's just that. Is there a line where you're like, okay, don't be pathetic?
I mean, if it's habitual, it's something that's always the same story playing over and over again, then yeah, that can be tiring. It's like, okay, you gotta change your mindset, or
That's a good point. That if it's habitual or it's on replay.
Yeah, replay. But then that's part of their character, I guess, or their, what would you say, their being. I mean, maybe they're not always a complainer or something, but they. No,
it's in some people's personalities to be a complainer, absolutely, or to be negative a majority of the time. I think that's absolutely true. But saying that, like when you said, that's a really good point. If it's not habitual, it's something new, it's something fresh that's bothering you, then it's okay. That's a great point. Or I've always said that attempt to be solution based rather than problem based. It's a book by Carol Dweck, Mindset, and I think she's Stanford or Harvard grad. It's funny, some of these books that have good point, like the point of the book and all this research is like, do you have a solution set or a mindset or a problem mindset? And it's like so true that there are some people that will get a problem and they'll just go problem, and they won't go, okay, how do I solve this? And the people I know that are pretty successful, even if they're jerks, even if they're not very kind people, they're very solution based. They're always looking for all right, how do we figure this out? How do we figure this out? And I know in my own life, I've been problem-based many times, and then you got to catch yourself. Or would you say you're solution-based, Jessica?
I like to think so. I don't like to dwell on things that are problems. I like to try to get to the other side.
Yeah? Do you like puzzles?
What kind of puzzles?
Just like old school
You
puzzles.
mean like putting pieces together?
Yeah.
Gosh, I haven't done one of those in a long time.
I never liked those. I never liked them. And I find that people that are real problem solvers love puzzles.
Oh yeah, I'm not a lover of them, but like when they're around, I'll partake in it and play with it. Like with my nieces and nephews.
I've had, whenever I see those and someone's like, oh, we got a puzzle out. And I'm like, no.
One of those 1,000-piece puzzles.
Yeah. And everyone's like, you want to sit down and do my family's never done them. Maybe that's why I'm not into them. But I've met other friends or something like that. You guys want to get a puzzle going? I'm like, what?
My sister got one over during COVID on the lockdown, and she said they put it on their kitchen table, and she couldn't leave it alone for like days until it was done. It bothered her so much.
Oh, really?
So she said that was the last time. She's like, I'm not doing another one of those because she like couldn't do anything else but the puzzle.
Wow. That makes me wonder if I should get one set up. Maybe that'll occupy your mind. I certainly think it would be destructive or constructive rather than playing on your phone or something, I suppose.
Wait, except when you have 2 kids and you've got to like...
How old are the kids?
6 and 4. Oh, they're almost 5 and 7. Wow, which is crazy.
I don't know how long they could focus on a when I was 4 or 6, I wouldn't want to do a puzzle.
They do have kids puzzles, and they can focus for a while.
Okay.
More so the older.
They can focus for a while.
They can more, but not too long.
Aleph, are you a puzzle person?
Just for some game, I could be like there is Jenga that we have to.
Jenga.
Yeah.
I like Jenga. Jenga's the one that the bars have a lot of times, right? Isn't that the one you put the pieces in?
Yep.
And then you pull out?
You pull it out, and then it can fall.
Jenga's fucking cool.
That's a great game.
Yeah, Jenga. A funny thing about Jenga, I remember I was at another beach town in Thailand, and this bar had Jenga, right? And it was me, my nephew, my niece, and another friend at the time. And we were all playing Jenga. We were playing it for like hours because you can, with 4 people and you have some beers, it's fun. Mm-hmm. It's fun. And I remember there was two people that were waiting to get the game because we were playing it, and my nephew's like, and they're like, oh God, they're taking so long. The woman was like making comments in the background, right? And I was just like, and my nephew's like, I guess we're gonna have to stop playing because someone's waiting. I'm like, no, we don't.
You gotta share.
No, we were there first. We were having fun.
Adult share.
And if she would have came to me directly and said, hey, do you know how long you're going to play Jenga?
Yeah.
We'd like to be next. Instead, she was being passive aggressive within like 5 feet, talking like, oh yeah, I guess we're never going to get a play. And she went to the bar owner and asked him to get the game from us. Wow. So that's what I didn't like.
Yeah, that's just,
You get me?
Be a human and just like communicate.
And my nephew's like, oh yeah, I'm like, we're not giving up the Jenga. We're not going to give it up to this individual. If she came over to me like an adult and just said, hey, I'd like to play next. Do you mind if we get next game? I would have said, no problem, hon. Instead of sitting out and, like a little, oh, yeah, look at them. They're taking so long. Can you get the game away from them? We also are customers, too. It's like, what? Little wambulance. What's up, Skinner? How you doing, bud? All right, let's get into a story. And if you have a breakup story you want to share, send it in to writemac.com. It is a possibility that well, that's always nice. There is a possibility if someone has a story they want to share, they can call in and we can go through Skype. We only got 5 viewers right now, so it's been a slow day to start. But let's get into this story. Now, this story is an older story, and I want to unpack it with Jessica a little bit more. And I'm going to stay away. I'm just going to let Jessica go on this one. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on you, Jessica. Hi, Coach. My name is, they don't put their name is, I'm from LA and my current ex is from London. So we don't really look at the world the same. We were together for over 3 years now and just broke up about 3 or 4 months ago. She's 35 and I'm 38. She's a makeup artist and I'm a photographer and writer. Like a lot of people out there, COVID has hurt our business. We are freelancers, and I don't think COVID accommodates us well. Anyhow, moving forward, we've had an interesting relationship. We were introduced by a mutual friend. Both of us had just been out of bad breakups with partners that were bad alcoholics. You following?
Mm-hmm. Both of them.
Mm-hmm. So we had that in common and really bonded over that a lot in the beginning, sharing our experiences and stories. It was therapeutic for us both. Then we developed a deeper bond and, of course, became officially partners about 4 months after dating. Then at about 2-year mark, we decided to move in together. So that's a pretty good time to move in together. I thought we were ready and things were going well, but there were some immediate issues. She has a Chihuahua.
The dog.
Chihuahua. Well, I mean, is there
Right,
is there a Chihuahua cat?
I don't know why I said that. I was like, yep.
that I thought I could handle, but the little shit just barks and barks. My neighbors weren't too pleased. I couldn't really blame them. My ex seemed to get defensive. Instead of trying to find solutions, she went out of her way to make enemies of my neighbors, even letting her dog piss on their property repeatedly.
Yeesh.
Seeing as she wouldn't get rid of the dog, I decided we could move somewhere with more of a yard for this dog. Deep down, I didn't want to move. I loved where I lived. But to save the relationship, I moved. What do you think about that statement? To save the relationship, he moved so that the dog could have another grounds to pee in private?
There are a few things here that are bothering me.
Let him out.
No, but I think that the girlfriend with her dog sounds very insensitive to others. Being the boyfriend, okay, understandable. The dog, I mean, does she not hear her dog barking a lot? Or I guess that doesn't bother her. But then to let the dog go pee on the neighbor's yard is very
It's a
wrong.
character flaw.
Yeah, that runs
It's a character
much
flaw.
deeper.
I think when you notice how people treat other people, they don't have to be perfect. It says a lot about how they're going to treat you in the future.
Yeah.
I decided we could move somewhere with more of a yard for this dog. Deep down, I didn't want to move. I loved where I lived. I said this. We moved farther from the city and even thought the dog was better off and the neighbors were no longer a problem. I immediately disliked the location of where I lived for a variety of reasons, but I signed a 1-year lease and decided to grind it out, then move again. But honestly, in doing so, I grow deeper contempt for the dog and my current ex. This resulted in more petty arguments, such as her taking so long to get ready when we met friends, something she always did. So this went on for a year. Then our lease came up, and I was excited to go look at new places. This time I was ready. I knew where to go and what I wanted. Only my ex seemed happy to stay.
He's already said it all.
What do you mean?
Like, he earlier, what you just read, he's saying how he's already grown to, what the dog's doing and what she's doing. She's taking longer to get ready. It's already like grinding away and eating him up inside. And he's like, he's sacrificing himself. He's just giving up himself for her.
All right. This felt non-negotiable to me as I felt I'd been waiting to move for a while. And I brought up how I sacrificed a lot for her dog. She didn't agree and even laughed, saying I was being dramatic and that she could tell that I had grown to love the dog. I said, don't mistake being a responsible adult that feeds and walks a house pet with loving it. She erupted and packed her stuff that night while taking her dog and telling it how I didn't care about her anymore. So I went in the room and talked her off the ledge of ending the relationship, and I even hugged the dog. She seemed satisfied. Your take on that?
I think that, she sounds like she's being the selfish one and the child and acting immature in all of these situations. And he's, again, sacrificing himself to try to, like, cool the steam or like wrinkle out the ruffles or like try to keep her happy.
Wrinkle out the wrinkles. I like that. Deep down, I felt crappy and desperate. The next day I still looked for new places out of The next day, I still looked for new places out of curiosity, and because of COVID, a landlord said he'd cut a good deal. It was significant savings with what I viewed as a better location. Dogs were allowed, so I presented the idea to my now ex, and again, she erupted. This time, I had enough. I walked out and slept at my sister's for the night. My sister then told me how selfish my current ex was and baited me into go all in on the breakup. So now he's blaming his sister for the breakup.
Right. He's blaming his sister for the
So
breakup.
let me read that again. So
Yeah.
I presented the idea to my now ex about moving. This time she erupted. This time I had enough. I walked out and slept at my sister's for the night. My sister then told me how selfish my current ex was and baited me into go all in on my breakup.
Baited. Okay, I see. Baited me into it.
The next day, I texted her that I had enough and I wasn't happy. She said fine, told me to come get my stuff. And then she'd put an ad out for a roommate. Till then, I was responsible for half the rent. I agreed. Any thoughts?
I mean, I just don't know. What does this guy want?
He's doing a lot of pleasing, huh?
It sounds like he's
A wimp?
the girlfriend just is kind of like whatever, man. She's not giving or taking anything. Like she's just doing what she wants, and he's kind of just running around trying to. He's moving here, he's moving there, he's listening to his sister, but then he's angry at his sister. It's like I think he needs to
Get some time alone to think about things?
Yeah.
That's
What's he getting out of this relationship?
My name was still on the lease. I didn't think it would be difficult to find a new roommate. So then COVID happens more, and her work is shut down. And suddenly I'm responsible for all the rent. Basically, she invited me over a couple of weeks after the official breakup, and I had already moved out. She said she then full-on seduced me, and we had some of the greatest intimacy of my life.
Okay.
That would be manipulative, right?
It sounds like it.
It was the intimacy for a reason. I woke up the next day. She was making breakfast, and it felt good. I don't even mind the dog at this point. So that's when she slipped that help with the rent was needed.
Uh-huh.
I said no problem. I had an extra savings, and I was suddenly happy to help. We agreed that living apart was a good idea, and that we could still see each other. I liked this idea as I was already on some dating apps and welcoming the idea of being single. So over the last few months, we've stayed in contact. She's been hot and cold at times, sometimes even angry out of nowhere, accusing me of leaving her and not even caring about her. Then I leave her alone, and I think, okay, we are done, only for her and I to hang out again and have great intimacy. I mean, seriously. Best intimacy I've ever had. Here's the thing. I'm still on the hook for the rent. I don't mind as I have the savings and we are cordial. But where does this end? Jessica's speechless.
So, no, I'm just trying to take it all in. It still sounds like he's not really sure what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
And she, I mean, the rent thing and her being hot and cold, I think she's not in it as much as he is, and
Obviously.
it sounds like
Yeah.
she's using him.
You don't even want to say that, because do you feel like as a female that you're going against the female side by saying like she's using him? Do you feel bad for her?
No.
Because I mean, it seems evident to be like, yeah, she's being manipulative and she's using.
Yeah, totally. No,
and you're
that's,
like,
that's
she's kind of using him.
I'm not.
I don't want to say anything about the bad about her.
No, I don't really have much good to say about her actually. But
that's
I
right.
think it all stems from the beginning when she's letting her dog pee on the neighbor's yard.
Really, that was the red flag.
Yeah,
This is what's gonna come.
that's just wrong. And I think that just is a tiny window into all the other ways that she treats others.
That's a root.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
dog peeing's a root. Okay, I don't mind. As I have savings, I went over that. Dated some other women. Nothing has come of it. I do miss my ex sometimes. Sometimes I even think we can make it work, but then I think, no. She does something selfish to remind me why I did break up with her. What am I holding on to? Why can't I just leave her, or why doesn't she leave me?
It's something to do with the intimacy.
Oh, ding, 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 ding. Correct. Yeah. That's the best part, right?
Well,
Yep. Can we work this out, he asks?
I would say gather yourself up and dig a little deeper and move on and figure out what you want.
If we were having the best intimacy of our relationship, why change things, right? This is the next question.
Because intimacy isn't everything. I think that there are other factors in the intimacy that could be more deep-rooted, that you can find better intimacy than what you have here. It's just...
You got to give up something to get something.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think that's a big deal, is that in order for you to make room for something better, you have to discard what you have. So I think that I've done that in my own life before, where you're like, well, I don't want to lose this, even though it's not exactly what I have. People do it with jobs, right? Like you go, I'm not going to quit my job because I don't have anything to replace it. And then you're like, but at the same time, it's holding a position that doesn't give you enough space to do something you really want. So it's kind of a conflicting thing.
Sure. Yeah. You're letting it control you. It's controlling you in the end.
And it's not getting you what you want, which is a big deal. What do you think, Aleph?
About the big deal? Sorry. Sorry, I didn't catch that.
It's okay. It's all right. I was just saying that the story, were you listening?
Not yet. I just trying to read something.
Okay, no problem.
About the big deal. That was a good grab for what you thought you could have trailed
About the
on
big
with.
That's a good blanket statement, huh? About the big deal? I wasn't listening, but it's okay.
Could you repeat?
No, I'm not going to repeat the story because it's too long.
Okay.
It's okay though. We'll get another one up for you. These are these might be stories that I've had before. Here, let me see. G Money, how you doing? If you have to talk someone out of breaking up with you, is it already over?
If you have to talk somebody out of breaking up with you, is it already over? I mean, it definitely shows that there are some issues there that could be like that could be a crack into leading into a breakup. Yeah. Is it already over? I'm not sure, but are there issues there that need to be worked through?
Depends on the couple, I guess, because there's some couples that like the drama shit. I think because some manipulative individuals see that they're putting in place, I'll break up with you.
Right.
Let me see what you'll do now.
Yeah, that's true.
There's this like, and if they know that works, I've talked about this before. If someone knows that works to get someone's attention, they'll use it all the fucking time.
Yeah.
And that's like, I've had friends before, like, she said, actually, if I don't do this, she's going to divorce me. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
It's even worse with a divorce, huh? Because it's like, who's willing to go for the kneecaps? Who's willing to go
low? That's a
low?
low card, man.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
When you hear it, if you heard that, have you heard that from a friend or family member before?
I have. I'm trying to think.
I've heard it before, and I just thought, immediately I felt like, damn, you're in a tough situation, especially with marriage. It's like, if someone's going to throw that around as a negotiating ploy to get their way in an argument, that's pretty tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's certain grounds to break up or something like that, but when you're just throwing it around to win the argument, it's kind of like, whoa, okay, what are we doing here?
I think those people just have a hard time expressing how they really feel. Like they're not good at getting across their...
Oh, you're way too nice, Jessica. I would not say that's true.
No?
No, I would say those people are highly selfish and they want to do anything that'll win the argument. It's like you get in an argument with someone and you're like, it's like if someone's at a job, right? The lowest thing they can do is like, well, I'll fire you if you don't do it.
Yeah.
Like
Okay. I see.
If someone's in a marriage and you're in an argument about a specific
Uh-huh.
thing, let's say, for example, I've heard of this one before. A friend of mine was going away for a weekend to Vegas with some friends, a boys' trip.
Yeah.
His girlfriend fiance. They were together for years. They have kids. I mean, might as well say they're married. They got married. They got an annulment. That's a long story. But he's like, I'm going. It's my friends. I'm going away for a weekend. You can try. Like, she's like, you better not go. Right? And he's like, no, I'm going. She sends him pictures of his closet. Now, he was into jerseys and stuff, and those are kind of expensive, right? Mm-hmm. Like the NFL jerseys and Jordan shoes and stuff like that, like sports apparel. She fucking cut up all his clothes. Because I came over.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Dude.
Right? So I came over to visit. I see him like once a year. It's an old high school buddy. And I'm like, I forgot what it was, but I was staying the night or something like that. And then I'm like, what happened here? Because he used to have these really cool old school Jordans, and he had like all these jerseys in his closet. And for some reason, I walked by his closet, and his closet looked bare as hell. And I'm like, do you still have those such and such Jordans? And he's like, no. And then he's like, so and so cut him up with scissors. I was like, wow, are you serious?
Whoa.
I was like, what did you do? And he said, well, we're going on a trip to Vegas. She said I couldn't go, that I wasn't allowed to go. And basically, he goes, when I got off the plane, she sent me pictures of like my Joe Montana retro jersey, which is like $200, $300. I don't know what they cost. They're expensive. The Jordans all cut up in pieces. I was like, why do you have to go and fuck up stuff that's like special to someone? That's deep, right?
Yeah, there's a lot wrong there. That's really, really horrible.
What would you do? Because you kind of have some stuff, like you're an artist, so you have art and stuff. What would be, look at you collect old cameras.
If I came home to my camera's broken, there would be a real big problem. I mean, that is destruction of personal property. You cannot, that's so immature.
Isn't that one of the lowest things? I was just like, but what do you do? They have kids, they live together.
Oh my gosh.
See, that's what from the outside in, everyone goes, oh, I would just break up with her. But that's what's tough about the entanglements of when you live together and you have kids together. I don't think you can just walk out. What do you think, Aleph? I know you're listening to this one.
I think it's like being a parent is really hard. But when you just broke up, what about your kids?
I guess the core of the situation is she doesn't trust him to go to Vegas, right, with his friends.
She doesn't trust him at all.
But like, so if you're in that situation, vice versa. Let's say you take a weekend away to Bali with your girlfriend, and your boyfriend or husband at the time is like, no, and you're like, I'm going. But like, nowhere did my friend say like, let's break up over this. He's like, I'm gonna go. Like, I already bought the ticket. I think it was someone's birthday, right? It's like, I'm gonna go, and your partner does something like damage your vintage cameras. Is that what you have? You have vintage cameras, right?
Yeah.
What would you do when you came back? I don't think you would have a fight. I think you would probably just walk out.
Oh, it would be over. It would be over for sure. I can't imagine being with somebody that would put those kind of like that kind of control in the relationship anyway. I wouldn't be with somebody that would. I mean, obviously they would try to control you in many other ways, other areas of your life. It wouldn't just be like all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you want to go on a weekend away and they're saying, no, you can't. Like there had to have been things that would have shown that her character like that before. Don't you think?
Well, in this particular situation, I know the individual really well, and I know their relationship because we've been friends for a long time. So I know the ins and outs of it. But the interesting thing about it is his prior relationship was very similar. Because will we call this extreme jealousy? I mean, what else would you call it? It would be called jealousy, lack of trust. But because going to Vegas, one of the problems would be like, I'm worried about you hooking up with other women. Right. I mean, it wasn't like I'm worried about you gambling money, right?
So does he have a history of cheating in this relationship or that she's aware of? Or she knows about his previous relationship that he cheated?
I don't know. I don't know if she knows or she doesn't know. But I know that here's what's interesting. Both her and the prior girlfriend were both insecure. Very pretty very good looking women. Like they were good looking.
Yeah.
So like the interesting thing, I don't know if this is always true. This might be interesting to get your take because you have a lot of friends. You're a very popular individual, Jessica. So, but everyone knows like a friend that's really pretty or beautiful. You know, I'm not saying like just attractive, but like I think both of his girlfriends could definitely qualify or fiancés as beautiful. Like take a second look, pretty, right? Both of their personalities were very shy in public and insecure, right? So that's kind of interesting. So you'd think that they would be very confident because they look good.
Yeah.
But do you feel like there's a large portion of women that look really good that are actually really insecure?
Yeah. But I think that stems from social media more so recently than it did. Like when I was younger and social media wasn't around, there are so many more insecurities that girls have nowadays than
I just wonder if it's part of someone that's regarded as really good looking, man or woman. And and they get attention from that since they were a teenager or early 20s, right? I find that if they don't get that attention,
yeah,
they get like upset. Have you ever noticed that? Even some guy friends, I've noticed that like if someone's not checking them out or giving them a compliment,
right, they're feeling insecure.
Yeah,
like they almost need it to validate.
I think it's just part of their identity that they're like, everyone always says I look good or everyone's always checking me out, and so they really work at looking good too. That's the other thing I always talk about is like looking your best partly takes work on your end. Like a woman, if a woman wants to look better, she can put on a pound of makeup. I don't know if it
if
always
we think
looks
that looks better. Yeah.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Right,
sure.
there definitely is moments where you'll see a woman and you'll be like, oh, okay. And then the next time you see her, like, wow. And it's like, because makeup, outfit, right? Alep's laughing. It's true, right, though? I mean, I think it does make a difference for a lot. I think there's a lot to be said that a woman can go without it and be secure without it. But like, I think that those women tend to be more jealous and tend to get in these kind of situations where they'll cut up the guy's clothes, possibly. You can't believe that.
I don't know anyone like that. I don't.
You never
None
met
of my
anyone?
girlfriends have
It's very
been that kind
un-Canadian.
of vindictive or whatever.
No? Have you ever heard
No.
a story like that, Aleph, where something was done out of rage in a relationship, and you were just like, whoa.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Aleph.
Share.
It's like some couples as a friends of my story. This one is a friends of my story. They have it's like hot temper at each other sometimes just because they are looking good. So when they went to the bar, my friend, which is a man, he just talking with another with other girl, another table, but his girlfriend just make it up. And then
What do you mean make it up?
like she mad at him.
She was she was making it a show that she was upset with him?
Yeah, like why you did that? Why? Just you came with me, but you talk with other girl like that. He's just like what, like that, and then they had the argument is becoming more harder and harder, and that night it happened real quick.
It was in public.
Yeah.
What did you do, Aleph? Did you jump in the middle and say, hey, let's talk about this?
No, I do not do that. It's like let them fight just to know that how much they love each other. Just let them fight. If they love enough, they will get back together.
I've never, and I'm pretty proud of this, in any relationship I had, I can't know of a time when I've had a public argument in a relationship. Like I mean a real argument. Like I've gotten arguments at my house where it's like, it's getting loud, let's close the windows or something like that. Like where you're like, it's not physical or anything, but like there's yelling. But like I've always thought that's fucking low, man. If you make a fool out of your partner or attempt to in a public situation, I just think that's extremely low.
Yeah.
Have you had that happen, Jessica? Have you had a public scene in an argument?
I'm trying to remember.
Your eyes went down right when I said that. So
No,
I think you have.
I'm trying to think and remember. There's one argument that I remember having with my ex before we broke up the day after, and we at the bar we weren't fighting at the bar, but it was basically like okay, and then turn around and walk away. But we didn't like have a big argument in the bar. At the house,
That's what I mean.
we had a big argument.
Yeah, because it's public, it's just different, and you can't. I don't know. Some people have no filter. They're like, "Fuck it, we're gonna have it here," but that's just like everyone's always like, "Ooh, look, you don't want to look, but you are looking." You know what I mean? You're like,
it's
like,
kind of hard not to.
yeah,
look.
it's like it's such a human thing to be like,
Yeah.
Are they really getting into it right now? Oh, they're getting louder. Oh yeah, now they're getting. Like
Yeah.
you move a little closer, it's
Yeah.
like, oh my god.
I do remember actually one time when I was in university. It must have been like my second year, and one of my best friends, she got cheated on by this guy, and we were both seeing guys who were living in the same house, and so anyway, she was really pissed off, and so that night we did take eggs and egg his house.
Oh god.
So that kind of sort of matches
You
up with
egged
cutting.
his house?
We did. We egged his house. The room. He had a room
Because
on
he
the.
che-
He
what
had
a
a room on the
nerd.
front. Listen, it happened, and we know it was exciting. There was some adrenaline involved there, but she never dated the guy again. And years later, he wrote her and he apologized to her
Does he
for
know
how
that-
he had treated her.
because he cheated on her.
Yeah.
And
And how he treated her, I guess.
Did he ever find out about the eggs?
I don't know. I'm not sure. We didn't like throw a whole bunch of eggs. It was like a handful.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's as vindictive as it's
And you
gotten.
felt good after.
It was fun. We had fun doing it.
It's a waste of eggs.
We had fun. We laughed and we ran. We just lived down the street. We lived very close.
Okay. Yeah, you cheated on me. Let's go get some eggs.
Fucker.
Yeah. That's extreme. Wow.
You've never egged someone or something?
Oh,
or?
when I was a fucking kid, like when we were
Well,
not when we were in college.
Hey,
we got past that.
I was a
We did some other things in college and in my early 20s. Like you were in your 20s when you guys did that?
No, I would have been 18 or 9. I would have been 19.
Okay. All right, just on the verge.
I would have been 18 actually.
Yeah, no, I don't think no. We never went egging.
That's a Canadian thing, I think.
Good for you guys. You guys invented egging. Is that true, Rob? Are you guys big eggers? If someone does something wrong to you, we got Rob on that's Canadian also. But yeah, no, that's. I'll let you guys take credit for that.
Okay. All right. I feel like it initially was like a Halloween thing or something.
Yeah,
why
TPing too,
that's-
using toilet paper to throw on people's houses and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't believe it.
Oh, please.
Do Jessica wrong and get your house egged. Rob said,
I was
yeah.
supporting
Rob said
my friend.
You're supporting your friend, so you're going to take peer pressure to.
No, I was ready. I was upset at him also for cheating on her like that. So then, yeah.
Well, so you backed her up.
Yeah,
Even
so I
though
was
you
like,
didn't know the
okay.
whole story.
I mean, I knew what I needed to know.
What's the?
I don't even remember the great details, but yeah.
What's the craziest breakup story you know of? Just out of curiosity, is there one that you know of?
Craziest breakup story? Like,
Is there one that comes to your mind?
I mean, in terms of it being like destructive towards the others in the family, or crazy as in
Yeah,
like.
let's go with that one. That sounds interesting.
Gosh, I don't know. So there's this family that they're in their late 30s. They have 3 kids together.
Good start.
And she is pregnant. Okay, sorry, they have 2 and she's pregnant with the 3rd. And so this relationship is not a very good one. The family is quite wealthy. So she doesn't work, but she is fully supported by him and his family. And so there's kind of like, you see what looks to be like her using him for his money. And I don't know. They have a lot of arguments, a lot of fights, very unstable, and then finally they break up. They get a divorce, and she still hasn't had the baby. But when she has the baby, she already has then, I don't know, I might be getting the timeline wrong, but like they divorce, and then she won't, once she has the baby, she doesn't let the father, the ex, meet the daughter, and she already has somebody new, and this daughter grows up thinking that the new boyfriend is her dad.
Oh, wow.
And so she still doesn't know that that's not her real dad.
What did the real dad do?
The real dad, it was very complicated with, like, the police were involved and he wasn't allowed to be near and yada, yada, yada. Like, they couldn't actually physically be near each other. What do you call it? Like a restraining order or something?
That's what we call it.
So, which is so crazy is because her two brothers go down to the dad's house to stay for the weekend or for the week. And they know, well, you would assume that they know because they would have been like in their 12, 11, 12, 13,
so
14.
So the older siblings know?
They would know. They have to know, right? I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but like to me, this is really, really, really fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Like that little girl's growing up thinking that this other man is her father when actually it's the same father as her brothers, but she's never been allowed to go down.
Well, the siblings are going to tell her eventually.
They're already quite, like one of them's already 16, the other one must be 13, and she's 10.
So Rob goes, the new boyfriend is okay accepting that situation?
I guess so. That like he also has a daughter from a previous marriage.
And the new boyfriend must make good money to support
both
her.
Both of them have good jobs.
Did she get married to the new guy?
No.
Because that would make it so she doesn't get money from the ex-husband, right? I'm
not sure.
Because like that's, what kind of guy would want to do that? Rob says maybe a white knight.
I don't know. Like from the outside now, it appears that they have a very strong, loving relationship.
Okay.
And like she seems way more in love than she ever was with this previous guy. And the previous guy, like he, you know, you make your own bed, but at the same time, he was not the most ideal, nicest husband in the world. I mean, there was a lot of fucked up shit that happened in that relationship. But at the same time, she had 3 kids with him.
Yeah. At what point are you going to turn the spigot off?
Yeah. So for me, that's a pretty messed up.
Yeah, and you didn't even give all the details. I could tell you were holding back a little bit.
I mean, I don't know.
You don't want to get all of it out, huh?
I feel like that's enough.
I had, this probably wasn't the craziest because I've had plenty of crazy ones because of doing breakup coaching and having different things come in. But sometimes, this was a while back when I very first started, I maybe talked about this because I've talked about just about everything on the live streams, doing them for so long now. But this lady was, it was an email, and it was weird. Every once in a while, this might sound a little woo-woo, but you could just feel the emotion through the email, like how hard it was for her. And she was a nurse. She was actually Polish. She was Polish descent. And they were in the UK, and she said, I forgot what kind of nurse she was. It was a titled nurse, like an ER nurse or something like that. I could be getting it wrong, but a nurse is impressive. You know what I mean? Like it's a good job anywhere in the world. Oh, someone says they're a nurse, I'm like instantly like, good for you. I'm impressed.
Respect.
Yeah, respect. Good word. So she said she was a nurse. What's up, Jen? How you doing? She said she was a nurse, and that. While she was being a nurse, this guy had come in and was there for a week, right? And so she helped take care of this guy, and she found him charming and nice. He was Irish descent. And she said that, he immediately charmed her.
With his accent?
I don't know if it was the accent. Irish people are charming, though.
Yeah.
Like they can spin a yarn. They can talk.
Yeah.
They can talk. And so... Anyhow, she starts seeing him. One thing leads to another. Quickly, she met him like he had a broken leg or something. Hello, Dory. she says, I'm a nurse too. I've actually had a lot of clients that are nurses and teachers. I don't know if that's just because of my own personality or what. I don't know. But anyhow, so she said that she started seeing him. One thing leads to another. They move in together. And he had, like, she said, a landscaping business with his brothers. He was an alcoholic. He was a drug addict. He was a pothead. She goes into detail.
She knew this going into.
I think she soon found out once they started living together.
Right.
And he was a leech. She didn't say he was a leech, but he was, you know what I mean by that? Like,
Sure.
She was making the money as a nurse, and his landscaping business wasn't the greatest, being that he was a drug addict and an alcoholic. So she said that he was constantly asking for money and basically broke her, right? And she said, like, living together with him was hell. And he used to, this is where you're going to really dislike this story. She's like, he's never hit me, but he always bullies me. But she's like, he beats the dog. Right? This is not like,
I can't. It's making
it's like
me angry.
a low character thing, right?
That just like hit my stomach.
Yeah.
That's fucked.
Yeah. And she's like, and he beats and kicks the dog sometimes. And so she's like, who does that? She had like 2 dogs. And so she's going on and on. This is one of the reasons I didn't share it. She's like, I just don't know what to do. I feel trapped. And then she went on, I don't have a relationship. I don't have any close friends here in the UK. I don't have a good relationship with my parents. One of her parents, I think, was in the States, and one of her parents was maybe back in Poland. I forgot what it was. And she said that basically they, like, she couldn't turn to them. She's like, I think she was like in her mid-20s. She was still pretty young, or late 20s. And she felt stuck. And here's the kicker.
Gets worse.
She's pregnant.
Yeah, that, of course.
Right? When I read that, I'm like, oh, God.
Yeah.
Like, how do you get pregnant from a dog beater, Like and she said that, she's saying all these bad things about this guy. Like, the way she wrote the story, you're just like, geez, like, why are you staying with the guy?
Yeah.
She basically said that she spent a lot of money buying him a new van. This is one part I left out. She spent a lot of money buying him a new van for landscaping. She basically, this happens in the States a lot too. She got in debt because he wanted to start a business and he kept manipulating her. By the way, when someone gets manipulated and they're an adult, they need to find a way to go, okay, when's it going to stop?
Yeah.
But she said basically she got to a point where she was supporting him. She was worried about him being a nurse. And so she couldn't leave him, but she was absolutely miserable, and she's fucking pregnant.
Oh, man. That's
horrible, right? Yeah, right? And so she sends me this email. I'm like, I'm not even going to share this on a video, because the way she sent it to me, like at the time when I first started doing this, sometimes I still do it. If someone finds my email or something like that, and I don't think the story is maybe appropriate or something that's a little too deep, maybe I'll hold back from, there were some other details in this I'm kind of leaving out. But the part I said to her immediately, I said, look, you're going to have a kid, so you got to put that first.
Yeah.
That's going to happen, right? It's going to happen.
Yeah.
So you can't ignore it. And I think she was going to have it pretty soon. And so you need to put that first when that happens, and then figure things out. And I go, next, you said you have no friends, you don't have your parents. I go, think really hard. Is there one friend that maybe you haven't been in contact with that you can go stay with? Because I said sometimes we underrate what our friends or family are capable of when you're in need. Mm-hmm. Because actually it's a privilege and a good thing to help people out. Mm-hmm. Like it makes you feel good as an individual. If Jessica calls me up and she's like, I got to leave this guy, he's been abusive, he's beating up the dog, it's like immediately, I haven't talked to you for 3 years. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be like, well, why haven't you called me in 3 years? You know what I mean? It's like, no problem, where are you? Because as a human being, you feel good to help someone else. So I explained that to her in the email. I said, so go through your contacts, your friends and family, and I would add, if you have to, maybe you have to reconnect with your parents, whatever happened between you guys, because she said one was an alcoholic with some other story that the other one lived far away. Mm-hmm. You got to figure that out.
Yeah.
But you do need help right now outside of yourself.
Yeah.
So she said, thank you so much. I gave her some other advice on some other things. That was the main things. And then she got back to me. She said, thank you so much. Just being able to get that out and having someone that, like supports me and understands. It feels so good. Thank you so much. And the interesting thing is, I said, is there something you have in the future? Because I think she had to get out of nursing for some reason. And she said she always wanted to be a dentist, which I was like, wow, great job again. So she emails me back. She had the baby. I think she even sent a picture or something like that. And she's like, I had the baby, my beautiful boy, but the man's still a fucking mess. He's not, you know what I mean? He refuses to let her leave. So somehow she got in contact with her father, and her father came to stay with them and help him out with the kid. And the father started noticing how much of an idiot this guy was. Yeah. And eventually they got out. They got out of she got out of the house, she moved away, and she found a friend that was a friend that was a best friend 3 years ago, like I told her. Yeah. Reached out to her, moved away, and she was going to enroll in her first set of classes for this dentist program. This was years back. This makes me want to follow up and send her an email, actually. And she said she had took her son, but she said at the end, the guy was really hard to get rid of because he was like, you're not taking my kid.
You're right.
He was aggressive.
Yeah.
So she basically, I said that in those situations, you go straight to the police and the courts. You got that's the referee. I don't know any other answer, right? And so that was probably one of the more crazy stories to share. But isn't that
that sounds tough.
Yeah. But you hear this story, you hear it, and then someone goes, and I'm pregnant. It's like, you got pregnant by this guy? Like, you're like, how did that happen? Right? All right, let's get in the live stream. Now we have a few more people on deck finally after an hour. There we go. I got to advertise this better, huh? Beats the dog. That says a lot about a man's temper. It says a lot about a man's fucking character, a human being's character. You shouldn't beat anyone for... That's just crazy. Oddly, I've heard similar stories that end the same way. The guy takes off. Oh, heck no, says Dory. He's a user. They always leave when the gravy train ends. They sure do. Hazel Chavez says, a lot of girls do that to buy love. I met a girl that purchased a $1,000 watch for her boyfriend so he can be happy, and she didn't even dress well. I thought she should have spent it on her because she doesn't dress well. Okay. At the end, she moved with him a week later. He wanted out because he felt pressured by her. There's a lot of women in this situation supporting men. Well, there's a lot of men supporting women, I suppose. You think she would know better than to get pregnant. It makes you wonder if it was intentional or not on her behalf. I think the thing with pregnancy, I think that, what's really interesting that I've talked about before is if you watch movies, and there's plenty of movies with sex scenes or intimate scenes, have you ever seen someone pull a condom out?
In some films, but more.
Come on.
But normally,
one in a
no.
thousand?
Yeah.
It's like
5%. Okay, 1%.
Right? It's like alcohol in movies, right? Have you ever seen, how many times do people wake up in the morning with a hangover?
Yeah. And they drink a lot in movies. They're like drinking.
Yeah, the person's just drinking, and they're just like, damn, this guy's a machine. Like, no one can drink that way. Just 3 p.m. having a business meeting with a double scotch.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're just like, do people really do that and function?
I don't know.
And just drink they just drink, like Peaky Blinders, a show I just watched, or Mad Men.
Mad Men, they're drunk all the time.
All the time. It's just like, how can he be a high-functioning individual?
But that was like the 50s.
I guess. Yeah, because I just told my grandparents, they all used to have their cocktails, but I don't know if people did it as much during the day.
I don't know. It would be like they'd get to the office and pour a straight one.
But I mean, what I mean by that, Rob, about the they never pull out a condom or anything, I think there is a lot of people that they just don't have that barrier up of worrying about having a kid. And those are the people that have kids when they're young. I've said before, one of the reasons I've always been extra careful probably is the fact that my sister got pregnant really young. But That being said, some people are more fertile than others too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like that's also a big case of it. Like someone's like, you're like, damn, you got 4 kids already?
In a span of 4 years?
Yeah, there's like some guys just like, you have 6 kids with 3 different women or something. It's like, wow. And then the thing that gets me is when people complain about it. Like there's basketball players out there that you're like, these guys have like 7 kids with like 3, it's public knowledge. And then they're like, yeah, I got to deal with my baby's mom. I'm just like, who did that, dude? Was this lady nurse codependent? I guess so. I mean, if I had the story in front of me, like you just felt for her because you get in these modes, I think, where you just feel like you don't have a choice, but you really do. It's just that it's going to be hard. Mm-hmm. So like, I think that one of her issues is when she wrote me, she just felt like, I think what's underrated for some people in doing what I do, there's a lot of people out there that are fucking lonely.
Yeah.
Right? There's some people that like to live alone and have their free time. You do, Jessica, right? Like you value it.
Yeah, I value it. I have lonely moments, but I value my
You like alone time. Yeah. And I've lived alone for many years off and on different parts of my life. And I think that if you have a partner and you don't have a big friends or colleague or and like some people don't realize, like I've lived far away from my family for years. If I had, that's by choice. That's not a victim statement where you're like, oh God, this happened to me, because I love where I live and I love what I do. And I still have a good relationship with the small group of family that I do have, but it's a choice. But at the same time, like sometimes like during Christmas or something like that, you know, when you don't have your family around and stuff, it's tough. Mm-hmm. But when someone's going through a bad relationship and they've neglected having a friend's life or having a relationship with their family, it's really hard because they're like, oh shit, I can't just call my friends and family now. I've kind of just, and some people go, when they're in a relationship, they're just all in. They're just like, you're not gonna, like, I've had friends before, they get a girlfriend, you don't hear from them for fucking a year.
Right. It happens with, women too.
Have you ever had this, Aleph? As young as you are at 23?
Yep.
I mean, you're just like, one of my best friends out of high school, I remember he was like, they were dating, him and this girl, and they were like, I think he was like 20 and she was like 19. I remember he's like, dude, if we start hooking up, he goes, you will not see me for a while. And it was true. He was dust. It was like, we had all hung out as boys or buddies or whatever, you know, and like, you know, did different things, had fun. We didn't do egging or anything like that, Jessica, but we did other things.
You're never going to let that down.
Yeah, no, I think that's quite impressive as a Canadian.
Actually, I used to be that guy who would like disappear for a while with that girlfriend.
Because you had a girlfriend?
Yeah, and then my best friend, all of them is like sarcasm me like, I'm dead. And like I'm in the ceremony, I'm in the coffin with my photo in that.
Yeah, that's kind of a bad joke, but it's...
And after that, okay.
Thai humor.
Yeah, okay, I know I'm wrong, okay, guys, okay.
What happens though, like, I think especially when you're young, because it's because your hormones are so high, you probably just want to sleep. You probably don't want to admit it, but it's probably because of that, right? Mm-hmm. Like my friend was like, oh shit, when we started sleeping again, you know, like he's 20 years old, like it's gonna be over. And he was like I said, we didn't see him for a while, and then you'd see him and he'd bring his girlfriend, and I swear to God, it was one of those, hey baby. He'd call his girlfriend, baby. Like, wait, baby, can you get my glass, baby? Baby, come here, baby. I'm just like, what? Like, you'd hang out and you're like, fuck, can I get a fucking barf bag from the fucking airlines? You know what I mean? It's just like, baby.
Oh, God.
It was heavy. It was everything, too. And it would be like, you know, when you're like, I think, like I said, because we were like 20, so you'd go to someone's house to drink when you're 20 because you can't go to a bar or something like that, and you'd hang out with your friends, and like they couldn't just hang out. It had to be like Ronnie Romance the whole night, dude. Like fucking her on his lap. You know what I mean? Everyone's just like them kissing and like in the living room, right? It's just like, and you're sitting there and you're going like, what the fuck, dude? And then like I said, and then she'd get up again, just like, baby. It's so fucking dramatic. And we'd all be like, geez, man. And my buddy was like linebacker on the football team. He was a big dude. He's like 226, you know. It wasn't like, you wouldn't think it of him. He was just whooped. And he was just cleanly whooped. And he admitted it too. He goes, I am. And they ended up having a kid, like, I think, within a year. Because they were probably doing it 5 times a day, the way they were acting.
No protection there.
I mean, I didn't ask, but, you know, like I said, they were just like, I've never been around a couple more. Oh, I've been around a couple, but it was just, like I said, it was just over the top. I think for me, I just was never around my parents being that way. So we've talked about this before. Like, I think you said your parent, like, just like public affection. Do you know what public affection is, Aleph?
Could you explain more?
Sure. Public affection would just be like kissing in public. Or I guess holding hands is a light thing.
Yeah, but in our culture, it doesn't have like kissing in the public that much. But just like, holding hand is in the public.
Yeah, well, even guys hold hands in Thailand, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. So like crossing the street and stuff, I've noticed that like Thai friends will hold hands and shit like that. Yeah.
As a Thai guy or Thai people, they don't kiss in the public, but for holding hand, a bunch of that we can see that.
And not very touchy, right? Like not not very touchy. So what I'm saying is like, when he got into that mode, I wasn't surprised that he had left. And he was younger, but he was the same way when he got his next girlfriend. Like when he broke up with. So that's just how he was.
Yeah.
He says, "Does that exist?" Someone says, "Yeah, of course." Have you ever been around someone like that?
Yeah.
That have pet names that are like, I'll say a pet name or something like that, like Honey or Hun or something like that, but I won't say it like 1,000 times, or like it's not overbearing to the point of like Baby's pretty bad though.
Yeah. I can't think of any Canadian friends that were overly expressive and like baby. But some of my European friends, but it's when they say it in another language, it doesn't sound so.
How would they say it
drained
in French? Because you lived in Paris.
I'm trying to think, like mi amor. Oh, sorry, that's Spanish. My love, or I don't remember them saying baby.
Oh, like mi amor.
My love, mi amor.
He speaks French. Aldo speaks a little French. He took French in high school.
I know.
He likes to throw it around. Little Pepe Le Pew over here.
Pepe Le Pew. I can't really remember what some of the. Mi amor is the first thing that's coming to my head, but that's Spanish, not French.
Oh, sorry.
How do you say my love in French? I can't. It's not. Do you know?
Oh, how to say love again in French? T'aime, right?
Yeah,
Aime.
Je t'aime. I love you. But that's not how you say my love.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one that's.
It's like how to say my heart.
My heart.
I'll tell you one that.
Mi corazón. Oh no,
they're
sorry,
just
that's
talking
Spanish.
away here.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Max.
This is not a French lesson, guys.
Let
me take the names here.
Sorry, teacher.
Jeez, Louise.
I gotta get out Google Translate.
Mon amour, says Rob IS from Toronto.
Yeah, mon amour.
Yeah, and Rob says it doesn't happen here in Toronto. The baby. I lived most of my youth alone. I enjoy reading, exercising, and friends above everything. Have time for myself. Good for you, Hazel Chavez. It's so good to have time for yourself. You really find your inner self, find peace, and not just for you, but to help others. I agree. I think that people that are unsure about what they want to do with their lives and the whole idea of finding your passion, which seems a bit overdone these days because, you know, all the quotes on Instagram, like, follow your passion. It's like... It's like just joining Instagram for the first time and seeing the quotes. And I put up quotes. I'm like, geez, people just fucking bleed the hell out of this one, right? Just follow your passion, man. If you're going to live a passionate, loving life, you're going to have to, like, there are all these general statements. And it's like, I think the way to find what you really want to do if you're confused is actually take some time alone. Because the reason why you're not following what you want to do is getting too much input from other people. Or just watching shit TV. That'll do it too. But we speak different French than they do in French. You mean in France? So we got 12 on deck. We got the usual suspects here. If anyone wants to call in through Skype, I can do maybe 20 minutes. But I don't think any of you guys need my help right now because you guys are all the usuals.
I do recognize a lot of those names from our previous chats.
We got some regulars. But usually, there you go. And usually, lost my train of thought right there. That doesn't happen often. Where did it go is a good question. Yeah. Well, because you know what it is when you operate on the live stream, something comes up, and then you read it, and then you go, your brain darts back and forth into it. I think what I was doing is I only got probably about 15 minutes left, 15, 20 minutes left. But I would like to do a call if someone wants to call in and talk.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
Keisha Shaw, the usual is here. Aloha. Hope you're well. The usual people, they actually don't come with their stories any longer. They don't need help. They just like to come and listen to the show.
Chime in
is right. But that's what I was going to say when we were talking about this.
Mon amour, the French is
everyone's going to go on to this for a while. Is what I was going to say is that the other one besides the baby. Thanks, Luna Martinez, for the donation.
Wow.
I really appreciate it. An hour and 15 minutes in, you are appreciated times 10. Thank you, bro.
Hi, Mr. Martinez.
Yes.
L'amour.
Let me know when anyone wants. Luna, I'm here for you anytime you need me, but if you want to call in on Skype for a quick one. So the other one when we were talking about the baby thing.
Yeah.
Like
the other one that just gets me is...
Babe?
What?
Like, babe, hey, babe, how you
No,
doing,
this
babe?
guy would say baby.
Baby.
It was baby. It was like baby.
I can't hear you say that anymore.
It was bad, huh? It was like baby. Baby. It wouldn't be one, it would be like a little machine gun. Baby. There's actually an R. Kelly song called Baby.
Yeah.
There's a really good R. Kelly.
Yeah.
That was a good R. Kelly. It's so sad that people like R. Kelly and Michael Jackson and all these people that were great, whatever you want to call them, musicians, performers, singers. I don't know what you'd declare. Like a friend of mine recently, he loved Michael Jackson when he was young, Jackson 5, which is great music, right?
Yeah, great
Have you ever heard of
music.
the song Ben?
I might recognize it if
It's
I
a
hear
really
it.
soft song from an old school movie. If anyone knows Ben, like you got to know your age there because this is like an 80s movie, and it was about a pet rat.
Oh.
Yeah, it's called Ben, and it's a famous Michael Jackson when he was like 12. And so I came across this album in a secondhand store, and my buddy who's big into music, it was like $3 for this record album that had Ben on it and Michael Jackson when he was like fucking 12 or something. And he's like, I don't know if I can take that. And I'm like, why? And he's like, because of what's come of Michael Jackson.
Right.
And I'm
He's
like,
a child molester.
is that...
Was that true? Or
I don't know. I don't follow all the tabloids.
Yeah.
I didn't research it.
He did make excuse my language. He did make really great music.
Watch your mouth, okay?
Yeah.
But I mean, like when he said that, I'm like, God, isn't that like, can the music stand alone? But I don't know the research. I mean, if someone did something bad enough that you'd completely outlaw them from doing anything for them, yeah, I understand. But I was just like, wow, okay. I didn't even think about it. Now R. Kelly's kind of the same way. Like,
yeah, there were also stories that
he's got
came
a
out about
bunch
him.
of stuff about peeing on women and like being
Right.
with underage women.
Underage women, yeah.
Like like the list goes on, and then it's just like someone says like, "Oh, you like R. Kelly? You must like what he did." No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, that's right. I relate. I pee on women too.
You've done that before? Wow. Now we're getting interesting. That was supposed.
I didn't realize that there were stories that leaked about him that he was peeing on these.
I might be
underage girls,
wrong.
too.
I might be wrong. I might be wrong. I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know
the specifics on that one. Supposedly that was something that Hitler liked. It's called golden showers.
God. Golden showers. There it is.
Yeah. So what I was gonna say before we got off on this randomness, is that the other thing besides the baby thing would be when couples feed each other.
Oh yeah, that's another.
Have you have you witnessed that in your friends where they're like, oh, hold on, and they like full on like give the like they put the spaghetti together and like put it in their partner's mouth, and you're just like,
I don't think that doesn't like ring a bell, but maybe it's just been a really long time since
man,
I've
if you're at dinner with your own. I've been at dinner with a past girlfriend, and then the other couple's acting that way, and me as a couple, I'm just like, so what like, do you guys want to have a private dinner? I mean, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? It's like, oh, hold on, hon. Here, let me put the chocolate strawberry in your mouth. You know, like Max.
Gosh.
Here, my bite. How was it?
Yeah, just like it's like share food and stuff, but to like feed each other, come on, man. I'm sitting there, I'm like, really, right now? And then this same friend of mine would be like, oh, actually, I think my wife would want to sit there. I'm like, no, I'm gonna sit here. Okay. I'm sorry. It's like just because everything's served towards your wife doesn't mean I have to do the same when we're out to dinner. You know. Oscar Dahmer says his name's Dahmer.
Dahmer.
Do you remember Dahmer was the name of the? Because I'm like, is that your real name? He goes, actually, it is.
So,
Dahmer. Do you remember Dahmer? Jeffrey Dahmer. He probably heard this many times. I'm sorry. Dahmer was like a serial killer.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like Ted Bundy.
Right. Okay.
I had a really good
Bundy,
friend with that last name too. It's kind of funny because it's unfortunate that you got to be associated like
with someone so
a serial killer.
Yeesh.
So who's that girl talking? Her name's Jessica. She's from Nova Scotia, Canada, and she's divulged today some interesting information that usually usually if an individual cheats on someone in their early 20s in Canada, that you actually could get some eggs thrown at your house, which I thought was.
I knew I should have shared this story.
I think it's very telling. It's very telling that if you
watch out.
If you are going to cheat in your early 20s, you possibly could get your house egged.
You could.
And Jessica took some really, really big eggs to throw at that house.
We got the extra large brown ones.
Ostrich eggs. Don't judge me on my last name. I would never do that. I'm not going to judge you on that. I actually like the name Oscar.
Yeah.
Oscar the Grouch.
Oscar.
You know
Oscar
what's
Wilde.
funny about names is you associate them with other people in your past. So if someone has a name that you knew someone that was a jerk or an asshole, do you know this, Aleph?
About what?
Like if you meet someone in your past, and let's say that I meet another Aleph, and you go, I fucking hate that name. I knew an Aleph before that was such a jerk. He fired me from a job. People associate names.
Yep.
And they associate faces too.
Yeah, I have that.
They associate. There's a lady in the workout class that I go to, and every time I look at her, and she's Thai, right? This is the interesting thing about Thailand, is that I think Jessica would agree with this. You probably don't realize it as much, Aleph, but like to me, everyone looks different. Like this one girl in the workout class, I keep wanting to call her Leticia. This used to be some Mexican girl I worked with in San Diego. She looks just like her, and she's Thai.
You relate to her?
No, I just same smile, right? And every time I see her, I think, and this lady was not even like my close friend. It was just someone I worked with for years. And I'm always like, God, she looks just like her every time I look at her. And the good thing is that Leticia lady, I didn't dislike her. I was kind of neutral. But every time I see her, and she's Thai, and this other lady was from Mexico, and they looked the exact same. And you would think like, really? How's that? There's women and people I've seen in Thailand that look Mexican.
Yeah, there are sometimes some similarities. Right? Yeah.
I've seen ones that look Polynesian.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, damn, this woman looks Polynesian. Like your culture in Thailand is so, it feels like it's so diverse. Like you have dark skin, you have light skin.
Yeah, we mix.
Yeah, you guys are definitely mixed. You have tall, short. Like you definitely don't all look the same for
Yeah,
sure.
like eye features, everything can be.
I've had people that meet you that ask me if you're Thai. They ask me
Ah.
like twice. They'll be like, "Is he Thai?" He
Because-
speaks Thai really well.
Because of my breath, things like that.
Your beard?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is
Well-
it not normal for?
Yeah, it's not normal for Thai people because
Oh,
yeah, because it's like my dad he is a half of what is it called Turkish.
Turkish.
Yes, he's
Oh.
a yeah, my grandfather he is a pure Turkish, and my grandfather is a half Turkish.
Oh.
So that's why my beard is like growing up a lot.
He thinks he's got a Turkish beard, a 10% Turkish beard.
Well, you can see my sister, right? She is really pure white.
Mm.
And maybe the way I speak English with you, that's why they don't think that I'm Thai.
I just don't think that there's one person that looks like where you're like, oh, this person looks so Thai. I think I don't know.
Yeah, even
Because I've
just-
lived in different places in Thailand. I
Even-
just don't think you guys look the same.
Even yesterday when we hiking, that old guy asked me, "Am I a Thai?"
Really? See, that's what I mean. And he was
Yes.
Thai.
Yeah.
That's my point. That's my point. Does anyone have any closing questions? Keisha says, Coach, you're on a roll. We've turned this into a radio show. It's been fun, though. So they still want to see you on camera. Jessica says that would cost money.
That's right.
She wants money if she's going to be on camera. She said that she's got too much vanity.
One day.
Today I told her too. I'm like, today you're going to be on camera. She's like, no.
I just know you're joking when you say things like that.
Would you like to be on camera eventually?
I
You
would.
got confidence in the way you look, yeah.
I wouldn't mind.
Yeah. It's another step, isn't it?
Yeah. If it moves in that direction, okay.
This isn't OnlyFans, says Oscar. Okay. What does that mean? Does that mean you're not a fan? You want to hear something interesting about the word fan? Fan in Thailand means boyfriend or girlfriend.
Fan.
Yeah.
Fan, right? Kind of random.
Yeah.
When someone first told me that, I'm like, really? That's the name for boyfriend or girlfriend is fan? It's like, don't get it confused with like ceiling fan.
How do you say it, Alice?
Fan, right?
Fan.
Yeah,
More like
fan.
an E
Fan.
than an A?
Fan.
Yeah.
Fan.
we
Fan.
call
Oh.
Fan. Like,
But it does sound like fan, actually.
yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
Sounds to me like fan.
Fan and fan.
It's like, where's the fan in the room? You know, it's like, oh, you have fan? No, I'm looking for the fan to get cool.
Not fan to get hot, right?
Okay, feels like Howard Sternish, but a nice Howard Stern. Well, I'll take that as a compliment because Howard Stern's cool as hell in a lot of ways. And Jessica could be the Robin Quivers. Do you know who Robin Quivers is?
I don't.
Very Canadian. She doesn't even know what Howard Stern is, I don't think. Do you know who Howard
I
Stern?
have heard of Howard Stern, but have I chimed in or tuned in on any of it? No.
Aleph, do you know the Howard Stern show?
I don't know both of them. What you say?
Aleph could be the Beetlejuice. No, that's actually a really big put down, I think, maybe. That wouldn't be true.
What's her name? Robin who?
Robin Quivers. Howard Stern had a radio show where he had... This could be a very popular post-midnight podcast. Thanks, Rob. I'll take that as a compliment for you. We're going a little all over the place today, but I like to talk. I do like the live call-in. So what time is it over there for you right now, Rob? Because right now it's 11:48 a.m. It was a good show. Howard Stern's done with Robin Quivers? Did you look that up?
I just looked up Robin Quivers.
Did you see her?
Yeah.
How to spell
Says
that?
radio host.
Oh, wow. It's 12:48 midnight
It's late.
over on the East Coast.
The East Coast. Yeah, that's right.
Wow. How much better is this microphone, though? You don't even hear yourself. You don't even have the headphones on.
No, that's right.
She's free casting right now. No headphones.
I mean, I can hear myself, and I can hear you guys.
Where do you hear it through?
Just through my ears.
But you can hear the microphone?
There's like a little slight, I don't know what you would call it. Like it's kind of echoey a little bit when I speak into it. There's a, but it's not the same as with the headphones on.
Would you? Let's just get it before we go here. We got about 10 minutes left. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you guys say Jessica's voice is on a level of seduction? Is it a seductive voice?
Yeah, I'm curious. How seductive?
Well, change your
does
tone.
one-
Just be like, hey, we're gonna.
When they hear your toy by this headphone.
No,
do you think that like, because radio people, do you think they change their voice when they talk, right?
do they?
Oh fuck yeah.
There's a little acting in there.
Oh yeah. I think so.
Oh yeah.
Like the guy that has the love, brand new Skinner gave you a 7 on seduction. Wow.
Wow.
You can work on that too, probably.
Yeah. I mean, this is just my voice. I haven't added any seduction in there.
Really?
I think I might have to do that on my own time before I give it a few tries on here.
I remember in the Bay Area 8 only because she is not trying. It's natural. All right, Keisha. I remember that when they used to have the I don't know, are radio stations even big anymore? I mean, everyone does a podcast now.
It seems like podcasts are the new.
But I mean, are you Oscar says a 5. You're not a seductive voice.
Ah, geez. I guess I'm gonna have to work on it.
Yeah, sure. So, they used to have oldie shows in the Bay Area, like for your late at night for the. I guess they used to play a lot of hip hop. We used to just call it rap or whatever, I guess. But the oldie shows, you would have people like, "Hey,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
this is Larry." There's a guy his name was Larry, but he had this voice like, "Hey, what's up? Yeah, we're gonna jump into Marvin Gaye right now. Let's get it on." And for all you
Let's get
listeners
it
out
on.
there, I hope this one treats you well. Let's get into it. Thanks. And you can't naturally talk like that.
No, that's true. That's true. There is
Right.
some. There is some.
There would be something to that. Like,
Yeah.
like I said, the guy from the Love Chat, Rory, his sound equipment, I always was like, damn, his vocals sound good. But like, hey, I'm Rory from the Love Chat. I always was like, oh, okay. Really put a little extra in there, huh?
And so, what about yours?
Seduction wise?
Or just the.
I don't know
Coach
if my
Mac
voice
McCarthy?
is my voice seductive. I would say no. I would just say honest.
Yeah.
I would say honest. It's really funny because whenever what's ASMR voice? I don't know what that means actually. As ASMR, what does that mean?
It's like we playing around with the sound. I will show you some of example in that kind of ASMR video. It's like we talking like, hey, what's up?
But it's more quiet than this.
Like
Oh, that was great, Alan. Really?
yeah, like we try to do with some equipment like play around some sound on that. ASMR they have a bunch of that. Have you show you some?
So that's to make your voice change.
No, but ASMR is like the video that or the kind of thing that they play. They use content about the voice, like even the sound of when you're eating or the sound when you unpack something.
Oh, those sounds like when you watch the video and then when you open a bag.
Yeah,
like,
that
makes
kind of
a
like
noise.
that. That's that kind of ASMR.
Oh, so they work in creating these sounds.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, I've seen some videos about that before, and they like will take raw meat and like slap it on something, and then that sounds.
Gross.
No, but like they do, they're like sound engineers of sorts, and they do a lot of crazy things to mimic
Jesus,
sounds.
Yeah.
Jessica's example: raw meat slapped on something.
And that is the same as like when you get smacked in the face. That's what they were.
Raw meat on your face. Okay.
No. They were I forget where they were slapping it. They were like slapping a chicken breast. Or
First
something.
thing that comes to Jessica's mind. Oh, what about the sound of raw meat slapping somewhere?
That's the one that was the most memorable.
Everyone's like, "Can you do that on the next show? Can you do a raw meat sound slapping on the wood?"
I watched some interesting TV show about this one time. I just forget. the
Skinner
rest.
said it's supposed to be soothing ASMR.
Well, someone use ASMR for before sleep. It helped them to feel more relaxing.
I'm gonna have to look into this. I haven't heard of it before. He said it's supposed to. I'm still kind of lost on what it means.
Maybe we show you some.
Yeah, thanks. I'm waited on bated breath. Not a seductive voice. 5 says Oscar. I think that I've talking to a lot of different people though. Whenever you talk in a microphone, it always sounds. I think most people don't go, "Oh, I like my voice." It feels.
It does sound strange.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I first started teaching at the university, it was like, "Oh, do you want to use a microphone?" I'm always like, "My voice is loud enough. I don't need to do that because it feels awkward." But now when you hear on this microphone through the headphones and stuff, it just sounds. The tone of it sounds so good, but I don't know if. I think voices probably over time get associated with content, but then the idea that someone has a really seductive voice, like I said earlier, like an oldie show or something, I think that's a bit staged in some ways. I suppose I have, you know what? Thinking about it though, I have met women where I'm like, I like her voice.
Yeah.
I have met, and I've had an occasion where women have told me that they like my voice.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, this is really funny. When I used to go to 49ers games, NFL football for you, Jessica, because you don't know what 49ers probably are. Yeah. NFL football, not soccer. Mm-hmm. This is like 60,000 fans, and like we had tickets, season tickets, and this is like defense, like you're fully engaged. I'm not a concert person, but a sporting event, I'll lose my voice. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And like, so you come out and you know when your voice is really, would you call it raspy?
Yeah.
Like when you lose your voice?
Yeah.
And I remember we'd go out to the bars after and I was talking to this one woman, I was going to say chick. Is that politically incorrect? Don't call women chicks. And she was like, I really like your voice. And I'm like, yeah, I just lost it today. It's like,
You're like, this isn't my real voice.
It's like I should be home drinking hot tea.
Well, someone seducts on that too.
So I mean, like the fact that you barely have your voice, right? Have you lost your voice before?
Yeah.
From concerts, huh?
From concerts, yeah.
Do you sing during the concert?
Yeah.
Do you do the?
I don't know. Depends on who's the band.
All right, folks. Any closing questions? We're going to close it out. Luna Martinez, you're a gem. Thanks for the $19.99. I really appreciate it. Everyone liked this format that was on. We kind of didn't have as many as we usually do. We didn't have the stories go as deep. When is the next podcast? Dun dun. Do you enjoy? On a scale of 1 to 10, go ahead and give it to me, Oscar, Brand New Skinner. What did you guys think of this show? Any kind of feedback's good because we can do this format more often. I actually enjoy it. Jessica actually loses her attention really fast. So what can we work on to make it better, Rob? This was fun, but how do you donate? Right below there's a $sign where you say stuff. I think you can just plug that down there and it'll let you do it. I'm not sure if you need an account through Google or not, but you can. Mandatory scheduled call-ins. Mandatory. I like that. You have to.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take that as constructive criticism, Rob, even though I don't like the word mandatory for anything in my life. It's not why I moved to an island. Do you ever get like mandatory? It's mandatory. That's like... I joined late. I give it a 7. Okay, what would you improve, Oscar? Like I said, it's constructive criticism. Skinner likes conversation like this. You don't have to say sorry. You don't have to say sorry. That's the way you communicate. Mandatory scheduled call-ins. We can get that going eventually.
Yeah.
You would have liked these guys that called in last time.
I like the idea of call-ins.
Yeah. It's going to be good. Well, I offered it. We just don't have people on deck right now.
Yeah.
It's a work in progress. So Mr. Dahmer giving me a 7. Maybe it was because I said something bad about your name.
Knocked a few points.
What would you like? What would you like to add? We'll do the Collins. You went off topic, but it was still fun. Oh, I always go off topic.
I mean, the topic stayed on topic for
as
what,
long as it
10
could, right?
15
We'll do
minutes?
call-ins for sure. I'm down with that. I like it's kind of funny because doing something like this is something I've always wanted to do, something more like a radio show. And the funny thing is, Keisha, when you said Howard Stern, I take that as a compliment, even though I don't think I'm Howard Stern in any way, but the way the show flows and having a couple other people on and getting Aleph in here, getting Jessica in here, and getting some takes, this is fun for me. So we will try to get more calls in the future, Rob. That's something we can do for sure. Great show. I just want to see the girl and Aleph to match the voice to the face. Well, I think that's what keeps people engaged, right? It's like from R. Kelly to Howard Stern to Dahmer to Michael Jackson. Yes, it was a compliment. You got to go with what you're good at, and one of the things I've always been able to do is talk a lot, right, Jessica?
100%.
Is that true, Aleph?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I can hold a conversation for a long time about a lot of different things.
oh, you can talk an hour.
An hour.
More than that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Golden shower. Yeah, that was another.
All right, folks, it's just about that time. We'll be back on deck. I will put the schedule on Instagram today then. That'll have to go on.
Yep.
100% done.
Done.
And schedule call-ins a work in progress. But, Rob, you are a guardian at the gate, and you will always have access. So I will take that as constructive criticism. Everyone else, it's curtains. Have a good day.
And thank you for Mr. Martinez too.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez, for the donation. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jessica, anything to say?
It's been swell.
Swell. Wow, I haven't heard that in a long
I hope
time.
you guys don't only remember me for the eggs, but if you do, just, be sure to check yourself before you cheat.
Wow, you went seductive voice on that too.
Did I?
Yeah, I
Oh.
thought so. All right.
Look forward to the next time.
Good close.
Oh, I like that little music bit.